How's everybody doing? You know what I love about Janine Shepherd? I mean, let's face it, impressive as it is, lots of people have come back from the dead before, right? So when they come back from the dead, they're usually vampires or mummies, and they haunt the shit out of us. Janine had the decency to come back from the dead with a smile. I like that. So life is good. Let's explore. This, thank God, is not me. This is my little brother, JJ. And growing up looking like that is not easy, but life is good. That's me on the top bunk and JJ on the bottom bunk. We're the youngest of 6 kids, and we grew up just outside of Boston. And our dad worked in a machine shop, mom raised the kids. And I understand, you know, like there's all these photographs of our older brothers and sisters. This is like one of 3 photographs of our childhood. So I understand, you get it. You know, they didn't have enough money, they lost the camera, whatever. But I'd like to have kids, and when I have kids, I'm not gonna pamper them, but I am gonna put some fucking sheets on the bed. This is our mom, Joan. Joan was the first powerful optimist in our lives. Almost the entire time growing up, our dad, who wasn't a bad guy, was depressed by any definition. And his depression manifested itself in screaming and yelling at our mother, screaming and yelling at all the kids. And our mother was there to keep the family together. She stayed by my father's side, and she did many things for us. She taught us how to draw. She gave us crayons. She gave us magic markers and paper. And she showed us that although we didn't have the money to travel to Disneyland, we could go anywhere in our mind. She unlocked our imagination. When she told us bedtime stories, she didn't just tell us the stories. She acted out the characters. She took us out on the pirate ship. She took us up the steps of the grandest castles and into the enchanted forests, and we loved it. We loved it, and we begged for more. But maybe the most powerful thing our mother did for us was a little ritual at the dinner table. She looked around to her 6 kids, no matter what was happening, and she said, "Tell me something good that happened today." Very simple prompt. Tell me something good that happened today. It's a nice one to use in your company to start your meetings, or at your own family's dinner table. Because what happens is you change the energy. She showed us that our disposition is powerful, and she changed the energy in the house. It's not surprising, given the influence of our mom, Joan, that my brother and I started designing t-shirts. We were artistic our whole lives, and we were intimidated by each and every type of industry and career out there. But t-shirts was something that was financially accessible to us. We could design our own things on Tuesday, and Wednesday get out in the street and sell them. T-shirts doesn't sound like a glamorous career, and it wasn't. We spent 5 years in the streets and selling door to door in college dormitories. We weren't financially successful. We were maybe avoiding getting a job, which is some level of success. But then we got focused on something that changed our lives. We got focused on the idea that the media inundates our culture with negative information, always reinforcing what's wrong with the world and rarely telling us what's right with the world. And you know, we all have a choice every day. You can focus on what's wrong with your life, or you can focus on what's right with your life. And wherever you put your energy, wherever you focus and whatever you focus on, that will grow. That was something our mom taught us at the dinner table. So after several of these conversations about the media, we created a character named Jake. And Jake's power is his optimism. It's his disposition. People have a misconception that wealth and material goods will make you happy, but statistics show that they don't. Some people think that that special place in life, being in that special place, if it's off at the beach or up in the mountains, or if you get that promotion, or if you meet that special person, then you're going to be happy, then you're going to be fulfilled. It's not true. The only thing that will enable a happy and fulfilling life is your disposition. So our superhero, Jake, has a powerful disposition. Wherever Jake goes, he sees opportunities. Optimists roam the world seeing opportunities. They don't ignore obstacles, but they overcome obstacles by focusing on the opportunities. When you're an optimist, you're more innovative. You're more innovative because you're open-minded. You're not afraid to experiment. You're not afraid to explore the world. So Jake is always exploring, always trying new things. And maybe most importantly, being an optimist is magnetic. Everybody today knows that in order to build an organization, for-profit, non-profit, any organization in the world, you need to build a community. Optimism is magnetic. So wherever Jake goes, he attracts other optimists. This enabled us to build a business. This very simple concept. It doesn't get more complicated than that. The world is incredibly complicated today, but it doesn't have to be. So our little business started to grow. And in the first 5 years, we had a $3 million business selling t-shirts with 3 words, life is good. We didn't invent life is good, but we were the first ones to trademark it. So the business starts to grow. Some guy said that to me recently. He said, I don't think it's fair. I said, what's not fair? He goes, well, you didn't create life is good. My grandfather used to say life is good. And I said, tell your grandfather you should have trademarked it. And then he was British. The guy was British, so I said, and if I'm not mistaken, the British invented trademarks, so whatever, dude. What we didn't anticipate was the customer base that we would grow. The ones who embraced the idea that life is good the most were the ones who were facing the most adversity. This is a photograph of a little girl named Lindsay, 11 years old, and she was diagnosed with terminal bone cancer. And the Boston Globe wrote an article about her, and she was wearing a Life is Good hat. And the journalist said, do you understand your prognosis? And she said, yes, they don't think I'm going to live longer than a year. And he said, do you mind if I ask why you're wearing a hat that says life is good? 11 years old, you know what she said? Very matter-of-factly. Because before I was sick, I took my life for granted. But now I want to make sure every day counts. That blew us away. Absolutely blew us away. And, we didn't know what to do. What Lindsay showed us is that her optimism enabled her to access courage. So it was the beginning. When we started, we thought, well, there's pessimism, there's realism, and there's optimism. We're on this team, okay? Pessimism is corrosive. Realism lacks imagination. Optimism, on the other hand, is boundless. It can take you anywhere, and it opens you up. But Lindsay showed us that optimism can give you access to courage. So at this point, after 5 years, we developed a little advertising budget, and we were about to spend that money. But when we met Lindsay, we did the only thing that anybody in this room would do, the obvious thing you can probably guess. We had a pumpkin festival. Makes sense, right? And all the money we raised at the pumpkin festival went to families of kids with life-threatening conditions. We spent the whole wad in one weekend. But that weekend, we raised over $100,000 for kids who really need it. And we hired this person to be our pumpkins logistics coordinator. And she did a nice job. And believe it or not, we kept investing in pumpkins. It felt right to us. It felt good. And those pumpkin festivals grew. And we started having them in multiple communities. And eventually we broke the Guinness World Record for the most lit pumpkins in one place at one time. 31,000 plus lit pumpkins. But now it wasn't raising $100,000. It was raising $600,000, $800,000, and eventually over $1 million. One of the unexpected things that happened, and a great benefit to us, was that the pumpkin festivals and helping kids in general was galvanizing to our staff. Our staff talked about it all the time. Their chests swelled with pride. When they talked about life is good, they talked about helping kids even before the t-shirts. Can you help them? No matter what you do, no matter what your career is, it's a vehicle for you to live a happy and fulfilling life. Don't get so caught up in your profession or your career. And it's one of the reasons I love WORLDZ. We're really not here, as you can tell, to just talk about your career and your job. We'll get to all those things. But work is a subcategory of life. The dumbest expression ever created is work-life balance. It makes no sense. By definition, Work-life balance means that your work counters your life. That's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Your work is a subcomponent of your life. So your work, the purpose of your work should be to fulfill the goals and values of your life. I get carried away. Compassion. We learned that we got access to compassion from our optimism. And that was the beginning. InQ shared the superpowers poem. Those 10 superpowers are the values of our business. Very simple, but timeless. Timeless values. Everybody's talking about trends. We have to be on trend. We have to be on trend for everything. Some things don't have trends. Some things are timeless. These 10 values are the most powerful values people have for living a happy and fulfilling life. So Lindsay begging and other letters and connections we had with people facing difficult things led to our Kids Foundation. And we made a commitment early on that 10% of profitability, no matter what, would go to kids who really need it. And the letters kept pouring in. We got a letter from these 2 twin brothers. One was born blind and one was born with one leg. And they wrote us to tell us how good life is. They wrote us to tell us they love their Life is Good shirts. They weren't even asking for a free shirt. Everybody asked for a free shirt, and we send them one. These kids didn't. They just wanted to hang out. They asked if we surfed. How can a blind kid and a kid with one leg surf, right? They blew us away, and they taught us that gratitude is a superpower. Gratitude is a powerful superpower. All of us, we don't have to be here today. We get to be here today. Those kids, they get to do so many incredible things, and they didn't look at it like they were served a difficult life. They looked at it as they got a special life. The 10 superpowers guide us in everything that we do. They're very simple. The 10 superpowers are values that your great-great-great-grandparents had, and they are values that your great-great-great-grandchildren will need. The Pumpkin Festival's grown into Life is Good music festivals. There's a picture of Michael Franti on stage, and it's 30,000 optimists, a community of 30,000 optimists. Today, it's over 4 million optimists in our community. But when people go to this festival, yes, there's great music. Yes, you can get a cold beer. Yes, you can hang out and have a ball and enjoy it. But every penny from that festival goes to kids who really need it. Goes to kids that are facing things that are sometimes unthinkable. And what happens to our business? We're focused on pumpkin patches and music festivals and giving away the money. But what did our customer base do? The consumers, the buzzwords are co-authoring the story. You better believe they co-authored the story. They bought the hell out of some Life is Good t-shirts, and they kept buying Life is Good t-shirts. They didn't buy them because they're the greatest t-shirts in the world. I'd like to believe they are. We know everything about making a t-shirt, but anybody can make a t-shirt, okay? You got to get the fit right and the color and the style, blah, blah, blah. They're buying the t-shirt because they believe in the values, because they connect with the values, because those values hit home to them and are meaningful to them and their family. That's why. T-shirts and apparel is just a tool. It's a vehicle for us to build community, to connect with. We've never been in the fashion business, and I don't think we ever will be, okay? That's not to say you don't have to hit trends here or there. You have to do those things. But the most powerful thing is that people want emotional connection. They want emotional connection, and your community, whatever it is, has to connect not just on the products or the services that you sell, but you have to listen to what matters to your community and connect with them on that. We wrote a book last year about these 10 superpowers. Each chapter is dedicated to one of those superpowers. And in each chapter, we feature an authentic letter or an email who came from somebody that taught us that that's a superpower. Last year, since it was a 20th anniversary for Life is Good, my younger brother JJ and I got in an Airstream. We used to travel in a van, so this is a pimped out version of the old van. And we traveled around the country, and we had a ball, and we did book readings, and we went to some music festivals, etc. But the most important thing we did was we went and visited with all the people who wrote us letters. You recognize those twin boys? All grown up. They're all grown up, but look at their faces. The only thing that has carried them is their disposition. their powerful optimism. The kids were a blast. We met their parents and then we hung out with them. My brother asked, did you guys face bullying? And the brother who's blind said, yeah, but sometimes we mess with people. And we said, they're just regular kids. And we said, how do you mess with them? He said, well, when people ask about my brother's leg, I like to tell them a shark bit it off. And so we're laughing with him. My brother says, how long do you let him believe that? And the kid leans in, he goes, as long as we can. You remember Lindsay Beggin? Lindsay Beggin was 11 years old, 17 years ago, and told she was going to live 1 year. I'm going to play you a short video because Lindsay didn't pass away.
Right here? Okay, are my feet the right? I keep like turning this way, I don't know why. Hi, my name is Lindsay. I was diagnosed with Ewing sarcoma, a bone cancer, when I was 10 years old. I was going through chemotherapy and lost all of my hair, so a bunch of our family friends donated hats to me. The one that stuck out to me the most was this Life is Good hat. I was diagnosed on Marathon Monday of 1998 and wore it through the following August of 1999. So it's a little bit worn out now, but I keep it as a reminder. It reminded me to be positive and happy and excited, even though I was going through something that was a little bit difficult. A few months after I got the hat, I was interviewed on the radio and newspaper, and John and Bert from Life is Good reached out to me. I couldn't believe it. As a 10-year-old wearing a hat inspiring someone was pretty cool, and I got to meet them. I had so much fun and have been in touch with them ever since. They asked me, why did I wear a Life is Good hat? And I told them, life is good, no matter what. Well, I brought a little
old school.
flashback.
Come on,
God.
Oh,
That is awesome.
is that the original?
Original.
Wow.
Faded a little bit. Still fits
A
though.
hubcap. Hubba, hubba, hubba.
Be a hubcap lover.
Get it for your sister and get it for your brother.
Pretty amazing, huh? So Roman asked us to share something that we hadn't shared with anybody. My brother and I kind of drifted away from design where we started, which is really our strength. And 6 months ago, we took over our design department. So I'm going to show you 3 quick graphics and give you a last couple of pieces of advice. And I can't wait to meet you guys. I'm super excited to be here at WORLDZ. The most important part of these events is hanging out with each other. The presentations are fantastic, but we just want to hang out with you guys. We want to get to know each other, find out what your stories are, and hang out. All the action happens while we're having a cocktail or lunch or the party tonight. Really fun, really great organization. Take it from somebody who has belonged to PTTOW for a long time now. It's real. It really is. Fantastic connections, fantastic people. And it's not all about just networking to make a deal. It really is about focusing on each other's lives, not just our work. So believe it or not, this is Jake. This is one of our newest designs. And Jake's mountain, his beard grew into a mountain over all these years. So my first piece of advice is that when we were kids, we lived our lives wide open like this. But as we grow older, we're taught to be skeptical. We're taught to be like this. Be an optimist. Be open. Live your life like this. Life is Good is very much about maintaining that childlike openness. Love is the undisputed champion of the world. Okay? Also when we're young, right? When we're young, everybody tells us we need more. We need more stuff. We need more education. We need more money. As we get older, we realize the only thing we need more of is time. Time to do the things you love and time to be with the people you love. Take care of your time. Nobody else is going to. You have to take care of your time. Your time is your life. And finally, don't wait. Celebrate. Celebrate every day. Our business started at a keg party 21 years ago, so finally we have a graphic where Jake is enjoying a cold beer, right? Celebrate every day. Celebrate your journey. Don't wait for that special day when you're on top of the mountain. Celebrate today. Thank you guys very much.